Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to Comic Talk, brought to you by myself. Comic book fanatics. Ray's not here this week. He's got some family stuff that he's dealing with. So, we send out our condolences and blessings to him. Hope everything works out okay. But we are on episode number 35. Thank you for joining us. And if you're just joining us now, if you join us later on in the show, thank you once again. We can't do this without you guys. Now, as always, we have a wonderful panel, panel members here, and you know everybody here, so I'm not going to go into the whole spiel of introducing everybody one thing at a, but of course, guys like Trevor and Big E's Comics, every once in a while they'll make appearance up here, and we don't see them very often, so once again, thank you, everybody. Welcome to Comic Talk. We have a couple more panel members that probably be joining us a little later on. I don't know where they're at now. They just probably want to be traditionally late, but nevertheless, once again, welcome. Big East, what is going on, guy? What is going on in the news on comic books, on movies, on TV shows? Let's talk some good stuff here. What you got, brother?
Well, I binge read all of Action Comics that came out the last I think it's 4 issues already of it, and so far that's my favorite out of the Rebirth titles. I can't wait for the next issue. It just Superman finally got the treatment that I think that he needed, as far as the writing goes. And I'm really feeling the story between they brought back older villains like Doomsday and the Eradicator, and they have the element of him with his family and his son. And it's a lot of good action in it, and there's just good writing to it also. And the artwork, I think, has been top notch on it. And I can't recommend it enough, because Action Comics has always been that title for a long time that people's like, Superman Action that. But I think right now it's the best one out of all the Rebirth titles that I'm reading that I'm enjoying the most. So just highly recommend it, especially if you're a Superman fan, and if you're a Superman fan, there's hardly nothing to read on it. Like none that's new, that's good. The older stuff was better, like Red Sun and those stories. But recommend it out of the Rebirth titles right now.
I haven't. I've seen your videos on your YouTube channel, and you've talked about the Action Comics. You definitely recommend it.
Yeah.
I have not been following it, to be honest with you. I'm more of a Batman fan, so I've definitely been picking up the Detective Comics and the new Batman, and I'm really enjoying that storyline as well. But I will probably read it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, the Detective Comics one is good too. I just Batman is always, to me, for the last couple of years, Batman's been great. So I'm not, everyone knows, Batman writing has been good. But the Detective Comics story it's really good also. It's not just about Batman. The Detective Comics is a whole team element to it and everything. And I think it's good because Batman already has 2 other titles that are just about him. Yeah. So they took the Detective title and they made it into a team thing going on with it, and I think it's good. It's good. They're really thinking about how they're not just throwing titles out there. All these titles have some kind of substance in them, I think. Finally.
I'm glad, and I'm liking the way the Rebirth series going anyways, and I've said it many of times. I'm definitely like the storyline. I'm liking the artwork that's involved in it, for the most part. But I'm happy with that. It's definitely got me focus on DC right now, and I still maintain my collection on the Marvel books, but not as much as I used to. What about you? You're a big Marvel guy, Tim. Anything new for you? Any focuses on, or are you going to the DC Rebirth?
Yeah, matter of fact, I am copying up the last 3 weeks worth of comics to my tablet as we speak right now, so I can get caught up, because I wasn't at home for the last 2 weeks, so I wasn't able to buy the digital comics to get caught up on, but I've been reading them. You see, what did I like? Out of the Rebirth stuff, here's my thing about comics, man. It's like a TV series, right? You really can't review them like a movie, right? 2 hours, and it tells the, a beginning, a middle, and the end. I give it at least 6 issues, or let it run through its first story arc. So first, I mean, all the Rebirth titles have great art because the DC has the same aesthetic. If you guys are interested, Google it. There is an article that came out right when New 52 launched and Jim Lee's mandate on how they want their aesthetic to look the same across all titles, and which is like the antithesis of what Marvel does and their weird one-off artists here and there. But I liked. I read Wonder Woman. I pretty much read all the first issues. Aquaman, the beginning of Aquaman, I really didn't dig, and then the ending, I was like, oh, it's kind of cool. I didn't like the female Colonel character. She seemed like kind of weird placement. You know, if you guys read Aquaman 1, the gal that shows up there, she was, I think, a female Colonel.
Yeah,
and she just struck me as out of. Yeah, she just struck me as out of place. But, you know, like I said, you have to let the story go on. On the Marvel side, I'm really digging the Ultimates. That's probably my favorite read right now because it takes a large kind of cosmic. They handle universal threats, not even global threat, like universal threats, and that's why it's a cool title. What's been a weird little title are those weird like spin-offs from the Squadron Supreme, like Nighthawk and Hyperion. Another fun read that just came to an end is Contest of Champions. It's really goofy, but it's fun because they just have these guys going battle, and they brought up some weird ass characters you would never think of. There's a black British Punisher, because all these guys are remnants from the last Secret Wars, so they're like heroes from different planets and Earths. And one of our Comic Book Fanatics members on the Comic Book Fanatics Facebook page, trademark, brought up this point about the Korean superhero, because she made her debut in Contest of Champions, and I did not know that it was made by a Korean animation company in conjunction with Marvel. And her first appearance is in one of the, I think her name is Silver Fox or something, but she was badass in Contest of Champions. So I hope that, you know, she gets her own ongoing solo series. It's interesting. It was a character that was created just in Korea in conjunction with Marvel for some webtoon kind of web animated series, and they made her a character in the regular Marvel U. So that could be a book to really speculate on. It's her first appearances in Contest Champions, like 1 or 2. But, you know, in Korea, there's a huge fanboy presence there. If she takes off, that could be a book to look for.
Okay. So just sorry to interrupt you guys.
Oh, is Marty gone?
Okay.
Yeah, Marty took.
All right. You want?
Sorry to
okay,
interrupt
if
you
you
guys.
want, I can just. Go ahead. Hey, how you going, man?
I'm doing good. Thank you, Tim. And hey, guys, thank you everybody for having me again. You were telling just about Contest of Champions. I read Contest of Champions in Secret Wars. It was about August 15 up to November 15. It was just 5 or 4 issues. I like it very much, but I didn't follow. I have all of them here, unbelievable. But I didn't read yet. So if I'm not wrong, it's just 10 issues or 11 issues, and that's.
It's
so
10 issues, yes.
Yeah, this character was created just for these. How can I say, this arc of story? So it's a new character just created for that specific Contest of Champions, or was this character done before or created before?
I believe they were just kind of made up. There may be, because there were so many Secret Wars titles, and basically these are all characters from different battle worlds. If you guys remember when reading Secret Wars, there was all these different plant worlds that all kind of got meshed together. So there was like I think there's a Punisher 2099 in there.
Yeah.
There's some other kind of random characters. They brought Ares back from dead. I mean, it's really cool, but I don't think they're what you would call 616 characters, meaning the regular Marvel continuity. But it's a fun read, and it kind of is. It's really loosely based on the original Contest of Champions, which had the champion, but it's still 2 elders of the Marvel universe. And since Marty's gone, I'll try to take over his big giant shoes and be host. What about you, Marky? What have you been picking up lately? What's a good read for the folks? Since I think we're just going in that theme right now of new comics and things you're reading.
Yeah. Well, I'm picking up the rebirths. I picked up a little bit of a couple of the one shots and everything, and the ones that have been sticking out is, especially what Biggie said, is definitely the Action Comics with the resurgence of Doomsday and bringing that old back, bringing that writing that what I like the stories to be where it was in the '90s and all that stuff with Dan Jurgensen. So I'm enjoying that. I have been enjoying
Marky,
the
who
Green
is
Lantern.
the writer on the Action Comics that you're talking
Dan
about?
Jurgensen, the guy who killed Superman in the '90s.
No, no, no. Who's writing the current Action Comics?
Yeah, Dan
Dan
Jurgens.
Jurgensen.
Oh, he is. He's back on. Okay.
Yeah, he's back on it. So it has that same type of feel and flavor that I liked back in the day with Superman. And I gotta say, when I walked into the comic store, a lot of people just chitter chatting about, and my comic store owner can't keep the Supermans in stock. He said they sell out. People are really digging that Superman story. So that's one I'm liking. The other one is definitely the Green Lanterns. Um, I like the rebirth issue that they did, and the I got the first two issues with with Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz, and they've been cool. But the Hal Jordan one that just came out with the rebirth one shot and the number one it's really good. I like that. So those are my on the DC end that I've been enjoying, and of course the Flash. I'm just waiting for Godspeed to show up. We're getting little glimpses of him and seeing what's going on, and then with the whole story with Wally West and everything like that. So it's just keeping me interesting on some titles here and there. But as for my go-to, it would definitely be Action Comics and the Green Lantern. As for your Aquaman, yeah, that issue was kind of weird for me because I didn't understand. Okay, so he's trying to introduce the Atlanteans to the surface people, and then boom, some crazy stuff happens. That next issue, Aquaman and Black Manta beat the living piss out of each other. And then we go back to normal, like, oh, this fight just happened and I nearly died, but oh, okay, we're gonna start another story. So I was like, we should have did a little bit more with that. So as for the Marvel front, Civil War 2. I mean, I mean that's just been a surprise hit, and I'm in really enjoy. It has everything. It has a good story. It has great artwork, and a lot of fucking shocking surprises that has been going on. I mean, they're jumping the shark on some of these characters, man. They're knocking. No one's safe.
I
but
would I would dare to say this is better than the original Civil War series.
yeah, that too, and
I
I
agree.
think also everybody has that bad aftertaste on the mouth after that redone of the Secret Wars because I did not like it, and but boy, they're making it up with the Civil War too. So other than that, just anything that interests me, which is Injustice. I'm always picking up that, and I recommend that to anybody. Go out and get the trades and all that. That's a really good Elseworld story, and it's basically based on the game. What if Superman lost his shit and became a dictator across the world? What are the heroes are going to do?
Well,
And that's basically it.
interesting story about that. I don't know if you ever caught the beginning of Injustice. I remember
Yeah,
what the writer of Injustice. What is his name
Tom
again?
Taylor. Tom
No,
Taylor.
no, the other guy. The other guy.
Tom Taylor started it.
It was it was the other guy.
The other
The
He's
guy.
other
also
guy.
yeah. The other guy. My
Yeah.
There's
mind.
only
That
one
guy's
guy
name.
that started it.
It's the other guy.
Well, I remember they had gone. They had approached DC about 10 years ago with that storyline about okay, what if Superman had just totally went bad, and
Oh,
he kind of pitched that to DC. Well, DC just was just like, well, okay, whatever, we're not going to do that. So he ended up going and doing his own book independently with Boom Studios, and it's called Irredeemable. And that's basically what you get out of Injustice. It's all different characters, of course, but you have the main villain, which happens to be, of course, the most powerful superhero of all. But the storylines is absolutely different, but you see a lot of similarities within the characters that you see in Injustice. So that's where it actually, I would say, got its genesis from, was that storyline. And then eventually, of course, DC ended up picking up the storyline of and winded up calling it Injustice. But
right.
But
Also
yeah,
basing on the game and everything
Right.
like that, and
Yep.
that's why though that those first couple of issues were really kind of not like big print runs because everybody bypassed because it's like, oh, it's just a ploy to market the game and all that. No, it's a real good read.
it's
So
a very
And,
good read.
and guys, just to share with you, I was collecting last year Injustice, but I think it's season 2. I'm not sure.
hmm
Anyways, what really made me just not going on with the, I don't know about you guys, but to be honest, I didn't like the artwork that much. I think the story was interesting, but the
Oh
artwork
yeah, I mean, you
itself,
know, it's not gonna. I mean, it's
yeah,
average. I've seen worse. Trust me, I've seen worse. But the
and
story and the writing just keeps you interested, and especially some of
yes.
the scenes, especially season 2, man. A lot of shit happened in
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
spoiler alerts here, and if you
yeah.
haven't read Injustice, you're about to see some superheroes and some villains get fucked up. You know what I mean?
Big
There's no
time.
such thing as a spoiler alert if it's been more than 90 days. Fuck that shit.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta put a cap on that.
Put a cap on that shit.
Yeah, and that story's been done like it's almost
Yeah.
like it's like having it's almost like when Hulk Hogan went to the NWO.
Yeah.
It's like, Superman,
That's right.
Your hero goes. It's the same concept. They
Yeah.
just
Hulk Hogan with the fake fucking 5 o'clock shadow that he spray
Yeah.
painted.
Yeah.
do it just for men. But
What
it's
you
the
gonna do,
same thing.
brothers?
Because he was like the top dog, the strongest wrestler, whatever, and then make him a bad guy. What happens? It's gonna be a
Everybody
great
went
story.
ape shit. They were seriously so pissed off they were throwing garbage into the ring. That's how real it got because they thought they were just doing a storyline. People got pissed.
Yeah, but you know what?
They-
The best heroes make the best villains because he
of
was
course,
ruthless.
of course.
Yeah.
It
I'll,
became one of the biggest fractions they ever did.
I'll tell you
Thank
one
you,
of the, one
thank
of the
you,
super-
David Enrique Chang. Mark Wade was the name I was looking for.
Mark
So-
Wade. Okay.
Mark Wade. He's the
all
one
right.
that put it out there. So
I'll
thank
tell
you
you one
very
of the
much.
surprising books that I've been reading is everyone will say, "What are you talking about?" Spawn. Spawn has gotten good again.
What are you talking
Really?
about?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's actually it's gone back to kind of to its roots, and it's gotten better, a lot better. It was terrible for so long.
What made you want to pick it up in the first place?
McFarlane started writing it again, and Eric Larson started doing the art.
Wait,
And
I thought
They
the
got
reason
better.
it was bad because McFarlane was writing it. He was better than artist.
Yeah, he was good at the beginning, then it got bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gotten good again. The storyline actually is coherent now. It's not all over the place. The art, Eric Larson's art is okay, but the storyline is actually it's keeping interest now, and it actually makes sense. So
You know,
it's a decent book.
it was a good Spawn storyline. I forgot. Basically, it was the culmination of the end of the world, and God and Satan were two little kids fighting over the world. Do you guys remember that? It was like right after that
was
is when
about 12 years ago, if I'm not wrong.
that's when they rebooted the Spawn universe and they started over again. But this was like the end of Al Simmons. He died. Al Simmons, I believe, became God. He killed God and Satan. And then at that point, it's like, where do you go then? And then they were like, fuck it, let's just reboot Spawn. And then they started over again.
Wow. Yeah, Spawn is really good.
Spawn's it's a continuous. It's never it's.
Right.
I think it's the
Have you
second
been-
longest running book.
Hey,
It's
Trevor, have you been
286
reading the whole
issues.
storyline since number one? Have you stayed dedicated to the entire storyline, or did you stop at a
Yeah,
certain
but
point
in
and picked up?
fairness, I've been reading it. But in fairness, when it got bad, I skimmed very much so. Skimmed it, but
Now they have the Satan Wars, if I'm not wrong. That's the story that's going on, Satan Wars.
the Satan Wars. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really cool, and I mean it's back to his roots essentially. Spawn fighting hell basically, and
Well, we'll see
yeah,
how
I mean,
long that lasts.
see how
You
long it
guys,
lasts
do
exactly.
you guys remember that you didn't know how the fuck to pronounce Malboja until the goddamn movie came out? Remember
the movie,
the
HBO show. Too.
Yeah, the HBO show, and he was the evil clown, and I remember reading it. I was like, Malabogia. I was saying all kinds of weird pronunciations for it. Just like the first time I heard that adamantium, right? And when I was reading it for the longest time, dude, I swear to God, I did not adamantium was not how I pronounced it. It was
Try
every
saying
other
it in
iteration of
something
it. Exactly. It was. I can never say Adam. That's. You guys ever realize that? Like, you've been reading things all your life, and then now that movies come out or people get interviewed to it, and they say either a character's name or perhaps even like, oh my God, the best example would be Mjolnir, right? Thor's hammer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Oh, good.
I just call it.
Butchered the hell out of that thing.
Boromir. But you know what? That one, not even Stan Lee knows how to pronounce it. He says,
not even Thor himself in the movie says it.
I remember hearing him saying it in an interview that he doesn't even know how to pronounce it. You just say whatever you want.
I get that way with even books, like regular books that I read. If you don't, if they bring up a new character, then you just kind of make it up as you go along. Whatever sounds right to you as you're reading it. But hey, James, man, this guy is just above our level right now, especially with the new purchase that he just got.
I like regular comics too.
Hey man, go ahead and tell us a little bit about that wonderful, wonderful Grail you got right now, man.
Oh yeah, it's an awesome Grail, man. So I picked up this copy of X-Men #1, and
Wow.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, he knows what I picked up. I picked up like this Amazing Fantasy 15, going at a 5.5. So yeah, I saw it at San Diego Comic-Con. And it's just calling my name, man. So I'm kind of like Pookie for comic books right now. So
yeah,
I gave it some time and said, I'll think about it. And just came back to the comic shop where it was being sold at, and he still had it. So I said, to hell with it, man. I'll just pick it up and give it a shot.
Congratulations, very nice.
Thanks, man. I'm just gonna throw this out of a window and see who grabs it. See if they'll grab any attention. I don't think any kid will pick it up. They'll be like, "What the hell is this?"
Nah.
But
I think that's the book I lost.
So here's the story of James and I.
I think that's the book I lost.
See,
I love
James
that.
deserves this book because James and I go back to the Instagram days, and he won a raffle from me. I'll tell the story, James. You can add on to it, but he won a raffle from me. He won a Captain America 117. I think it was an 8.0, the first appearance of the Falcon. I think he bought like $20, 2 raffle tickets or something like that, and he won. So I was like, cool, I think he won another one too. But anyway, I mailed it to him, and then out of a whim one day, I said, hey man, you get the book yet? He goes, no, you mailed it? I go, yeah, it says here it was delivered. Tracking says it was delivered to your door. And end up being, man, he never got the book. Somebody gaffled it from him. Yeah. And so, hey, man, karma. See, it comes around. Now you got yourself an Amazing Fantasy 15. I mean, it's no Captain America 117, but it will do.
You didn't get it for $20 on a raffle, but I guess it's gonna work, man.
Yeah, it's a good placeholder, so it'll be fine. So I get 117 back. I just throw that one away.
And James, to denounce the rumors and all that of all the problems that I've been having with wonderful CGC, this is Rainbow Jizz free, correct?
Rainbow Jizz free. Not one stinking piece of rainbow or nothing. Good. No unicorn action or nothing.
No unicorns. No oil slicks. No waviness. No crap. No attitudes. And you don't have to send it back 20 million fucking times and all that shit. Okay.
20 million times. That's a lot of times.
I'm not sending it back once.
Let's kind of segue into that. You like that segue, Tim?
Segue,
Tim. You like that segue?
You segued like a security guard at a mall. That's how you segue.
Now, a topic's been brought up by Alex, and he wants to know a little bit more. If you want to go ahead and talk about it, and we can get some. We've discussed this many of times on our show, but there's some really great input from especially a lot of these guys. Like you luckily you have guys like Tim on here, especially Eddie. Eddie does Enrique does a lot with the PGX. So go ahead and we'll bring up the topic there.
Okay, the point is here in Canada, the Comic Cons, we don't have maybe like you have in US many of these graded comics. So. I ended up. It's a good thing being a CGC dealer, and the point is because we are in Canada, it's so close to US. But even though to grade the comics, it takes time. Okay, and the price is completely different because people say, oh, you can pay $15, $18, or up to $25 depending on the current comics and everything. But most of my customers, when they arrive here at the store, they forget that. To do that, they need to pay shipping, and so we need to pay shipping to send to CGC, and also pay the shipping back to us. So last time that I talked to them through by phone with CGC, they said to me, "Oh, you know, Alex, to send to us about 10 comics, considering that you need to ship with tracking numbers and you have to pay the shipping back, it's about $120 just for shipping." And I said, "Wow!" So yeah, because it's in Canada, and we're very close. We are about, you know, Niagara Falls. You just cross the bridge. Oh, long story short, what happens? Let's suppose that we are going to pay $18 to grade one comic. That's the fee, plus shipping, plus, you know, I need to pay insurance and everything. At the end of the day, it's about $50 for one comics to be graded here to me. And also, let's think about the paperwork and the time that we need to spend for the customers and everything. So, and another day, yesterday, Jeff, I talked to him, and he said, "Oh, Alex, I deal with CBCS, and for me to get 3 comics, I pay about $60. So it's in average $20 per comics." And I said, "Holy hell! It's so cheap in US, and for me here, it's much more expensive." So, how much for you guys? It's an average comics, because probably you need to pay shipping to send to CBCS or CGC and everything. You have to wait time, and how much more or less?
Let me chime in too, because you forgot one thing that just hit me. I just had to pay $45 because I'm also in Canada. I'm actually from Welland, where you're from.
I'm from Welland.
Yeah, I'm from Welland originally. Anyways, yeah, it's $45 I had to pay for my CBCS books to come back because I had to pay taxes and duties. So you're right. The shipping was $66 for 8 books, and then an extra $45 on top of that. And people forget the shipping for us, $66 US is like $82 Canadian, right?
Exactly.
So there's a giant difference.
Let me ask you this: is there any laws or anything keeping you from opening up a post office box on the U.S. side in Buffalo and Niagara, have them shipped to that location, drive over, pick them up, and bring them back over the border?
No, you could do that if you want to spend the time doing it, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're dealing in large volume, that would be the way to go. Another way to shave on shipping is, a lot of people don't understand, is when you're shipping at different tiers, they ship at different tier prices. So if you're gonna do a submission and you have books that are from 1975 to 1985, 1990, and then you have some books from 71, 74, do not do that, because you're paying for multiple invoices. You're going to pay shipping for each of those tiers. So when I do, even on the U.S. side, is, okay, when I do a submission, I go, I'm going to make sure they're either all modern or they're all bronze. So that way I'm not paying for twice as much for shipping.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, people think that, plus, even if I have a mailbox in Buffalo and go there, so I'm thinking just as a business, okay? As a business, so my time to go there and deal with everything, so that must be paid, because after all, I need to pay my bills at the end of the month. So what I'm telling you is, for the customers here, sometimes easily if we put everything in a calculation, it's $80, $90 to have one comic graded. And it's too much comparing to US. That's why,
Alex, here's the thing that people will say, no, don't do it, but PGX, if you're Canadian, PGX is your best bet if you're not, if your customers want to do that, because one, you can pay with PayPal if you already have US in your account, so there's no conversion. 2, you don't get hit with taxes and duties. I've done it 100 times. You don't get hit with any taxes or duties. And 3, the shipping is cheaper. It's $45. And one other thing to keep in mind, with CGC, as a Canadian, you have no insurance on your books on their way back to you. I've confirmed that with them. You have $100 through FedEx, nothing more. So if you have $1,000 of books coming back to you from CGC,
and they're
not insured. They get lost, they get damaged, they're not insured.
Exactly.
So with CBCS they are, with PGX they are, with CGC they are not, if you're a Canadian, insured.
Yeah, well, it's quite simple then. You guys need to come on over and move over to Trump land.
We need a Canadian company is what we need. We need like CBCS to start a satellite office in Toronto.
There's a reason why CBCS and CDC are in Florida. I mean, they're giant tax dodgers. They don't want to pay taxes. That's why they're in Florida. Who the fuck else puts a business in Florida? People who don't want to pay taxes. That's the whole reason. Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you were a big giant company, lots of comics, whatever, where would you be? You should be in New York or LA. These fuckers are in Florida, both of them, CBCS and CGC. That's why.
PGX, like is a PGX over in Oregon?
Oregon, yeah.
Yeah, non-text there, so.
And you
Yeah,
know,
but it's PGX. That's it's like
I'm just caveating basically.
Vault, baby, let's go Vault.
Vault's out of business.
Vault's done.
Are they?
Closed up.
They're
yeah,
done,
they
yeah.
closed up. Yeah.
Oh.
and you know, Rage. Just to share another thing with you guys. For instance, for us here in Canada, you just Google or you just go to Dynamic Forces, for instance, and you go there. And if you want to buy graded comics, they grade with CGC. You pay $89. Let's round up $90. But let's suppose you have to buy the comics that they have. Let's suppose you have your Spider-Man number 12, and you want to grade that one. We're not going to pay $90 with Dynamic Force because they're not going to. You have to buy what they have. So that's what I think it's very unfair for us. I mean, I'm just sharing with you guys because it's too much expensive at the end of the day, and it's a pity because for collectors. Come on, guys. Let's put it this way. I love comics. I have my comics, but I want to read my comics. So once you grade, you don't read anymore. Okay, we buy, and so customers arrive here, and I tell them, you have to buy at least 5 issues. Choose if you wanna read, and choose to be there on a miler, and send the other one to grade or grade 2 of them. But that's. So for a customer to afford grading comics with not being in US, it's a pain in the neck. It's a
very.
I know a guy that's in the he's a big Instagrammer, and he's in the United Arab Emirates, and he buys books over here all the time. I mean, Payne's not even here. I mean, we could talk about Payne's pains. He's across the pond in England. So I mean, and I remember
his dollar's worth twice as much as ours.
I remember right at the beginning of the year, maybe January, February, I went to the post office. It's a walking distance from my house. So I'm always mailing out books, whatever. And I remember the lady, she knew, and she's like, postal rates just went up. I go, oh, that sucks. Domestically, not so bad. She goes, she knew that I shipped to Canada because a long time ago, my presser lives in Toronto, and he's one of that's ImpressiveComics.com. He lived in, and I used to mail books to him all the time. It used to cost like, I don't know, $20 if I sent like priority, the bigger envelope, not the box. Right. And she goes, no, it's really expensive internationally. I go, oh no, I'm just shipping to Canada. She goes, no, Canada is international. Because I was like, because we never think of it as international, right? Because because it's part of, exactly, yeah. So I don't know why. I don't know why shipping rates went up so high to Canada, but they were. I was like shocked. I was like, what normally costs me $20.
Yeah. Moose eat a lot. You got to feed those guys,
You know, the only answer for this whole thing, man, is like, Alex, you guys got to start your own slabbing company, man, slabbing and grading company.
Yeah,
because you seem pretty animated and not real happy about it, and I don't blame you, but I mean, like that leaves an opportunity for you, man, to say
that is an opportunity. I think if you guys got together and opened a grading service, a pressing and grading service up within Canada, you guys will probably be the only go-to guys within that area. The only one.
Grading a comics is something that requires some kind of some level of skills. If people arrive around here, for instance, the store and say, "Oh, my comics is mint." What is meant for you? So you need to check so many details, and there are the methods to do that. I don't know if you guys, for instance, I like reading not only comics, but I read the Over Street Comic Book Guide and everything. Right. So you have a chart that you go there and you start with 10, and every little corner crease, something like that, you take one mark at the end. Oh, it's not 10, it's 9.2. But you need to take care of the comics, going through pages and checking everything. So at least you spend, to do a decent job, at least you spend almost 25 minutes in one comic.
All you have to do is go to ETA Nick, and he'll train you.
He will train you. ETA Nick definitely will train you.
Alex, you're missing the boat, man. I'm hearing what you're saying, and I hear what Ray is saying, and it's like, seriously, it sounds like there's nothing in Canada as far as a grading company. I mean, think about how big Canada is. I mean, the way you're talking about it, you can start your own company. You don't have to be. It doesn't have to be you starting it. You could probably bring some people who have had experience grading and probably get like a pressing and slab machine. Like it sounds like an opportunity that you could take hold of. And I'm not trying to say, hey, go do that shit yourself, but you know, it seems like you have a golden
He'll be
opportunity.
probably
to make
doing
money.
a better job. I mean, at least he won't have any rainbow jizz on his fucking comics. Let
Now,
me just tell you.
let me bring this up.
How many unicorns do you? How many
Rainbows are on the? Oh, but better yet, Alex, with the new case that came out, how many people complained after spending $90-something to get their 1 book or 2 books graded from CGC, and with all those new cases and the problems it had, how many did you come back with problems, and how many people did freak out?
You're the only one that freaked out.
I'm the only one.
It's just you, Marky. It's just you, man.
They got my number. They got my number.
Well, let me ask you guys this. You know, a couple guys in the chat room were saying in reference, and I'm assuming they're saying in reference to gradings, when people grading books. You know, one of the comments were they remember when reading comics were part of collecting, or another guy says it seems like reading comics is just a bonus to collecting. Now, I don't necessarily agree with that, because you know, you have people. I don't know if you can even categorize them in an old school sense, because I mean, please, Tim, go ahead.
All right. First of all, there's about 72 fucking ways to read a comic book. You don't need to open the goddamn comic book, okay? And it's like, all right, if James wants to crack open his Amazing Fantasy 15, let's just say James' Amazing Fantasy 15 wasn't even graded and he wanted to read it. He can go ahead and read it. Could something happen to it? Yes. So let's say you get a fine piece of art, and if you guys don't know, art doesn't come in a frame. Fucking shocking, because it's on canvas. So what you do is you take your piece of art and you frame it. And if you want it, you protect it. You put it on the wall. You encase it. You do whatever to it. You do that with everything. You do statues. You can do whatever. Slabbing it is protecting your investment, right? Some people, you know, their investment can be Amazing Fantasy 15. Some people, their investment can be something that came out 2 weeks ago, but they want it to be a 9.8. If you want, okay, I rarely go through digging through my long boxes and just pick random comics and just start reading them. You know, maybe I've read them enough times where I do that. But nowadays, you can protect your investment as well as read the stories. You can download them digitally. You can buy a reader. You can buy a beat to shit copy. They're all over eBay for really cheap if you want to feel it in your hands. But it's like, okay, if you've been reading comics for 30 years, you felt them in your hands before. I mean, it's just another part of collecting and everything else. I mean, okay, there's children that play with action figures as they've grown up. Now, if you're a Star Wars collector and you have the original 12, or is it 13? I think it's the original 13. Those come encapsulated. If you guys have been to a toy show, they have the action figures where you can get like a giant fucking slab for them so they don't get damaged, because it's part. I mean, once you get to a certain part of your collecting, and I'm not saying these people haven't that are saying you should be reading comics. No, well, look, once you get to a certain part of your collection where you're spending a lot of your hard-earned cash, or maybe it's not I don't know, your dope money, I don't give a fuck what it is, but you're spending money on these things, you want to protect them. And maybe you're just a devil fucking worshiping flipper and you want to sell them. Well, guess what? The best bang for your buck is to slab them, and I'm going to tell you why. Because half the people in the chat right now, you guys don't know how to fucking grade comics. I just bought a comic off eBay, and this dude sent me a certified letter of grading, and he graded it, a raw comic, at a 9.7-9.8. It's a fucking 8.0. I saw that in the pictures. But he sent me, I'll post the letter on the Comic Books Fanatics page. But he was saying he's been a collector for 30 years, and here's this certified letter to say he graded it at 9.7, 9.8, and he used the same standards that CGC does. And I was like, wait, CGC doesn't grade anything 9.7. But anyway, so if this is protects your investment, and the most important thing I think about grading is the average person can't debate what the grade is when you're doing commerce online, and that's, I think, the most important part. Even if you buy it at a show, right, you can haggle with the guy and you can argue over if it's a 7.5 or an 8.5. But once it's slab, you have a third-party group or almost anything that's saying, hey, we've determined this is the grade, and then you can use your negotiating at that point, because you both can agree that at least this third party, now what CBCS says or PGX says or what CGC says, that's different. But now that you have this, it's easier to sell, it's easier to trade, it's easier to do everything. I mean, because we all know we've all bought a raw book or traded with somebody and they mailed it to you, because now this never happened before, like 20 years ago, because everybody traded and bought hand-to-hand, person-to-person, maybe 30 years ago. The advent of eBay was what people started buying online, and I think that's facilitated, what CGC came about, because I think they saw that, hey, man, there's a lot of commerce going on eBay right now. So now, fast forward, social media, right? Everybody makes trades. They buy off YouTube, they buy off Facebook, they buy off Instagram, they buy off Twitter, they buy off whatever. So when you have a raw comic, we've all gotten that book where the guy said it's a near mint, and it comes back maybe a VF minus, maybe a VF plus, but everybody is different how they grade. Overstreet isn't even the same grade as CGC. The grading companies are a lot more strict than Overstreet is. If you look at Overstreet, they allow a lot of defects in their near mint range, which CGC does not. I mean, I personally can't tell the difference between a 9.6 and a 9.8. I don't know if you guys can, because every time I think I have a 9.6 or a 9.8, it comes back a 9.6 or even a 9.4, and sometimes something will hit a 9.8, and I just lost all hope, thinking that that's why it's almost better to just don't have high expectations and just be happy that you get something back in the same range, like in the nines.
Yeah, and just to piggyback real quick on what Tim said, and for the comment before about we should be reading comics and not grading them or whatever. If it's simple, when it comes to modern comics, if you want to grade them and you want to read them, just buy two. That's it. One to read. One to
Hell,
grade.
you're talking comics. They grade video games now, and video games you're supposed to play.
Yeah,
Guys,
they grade
just
everything.
share.
Everything is
Buy
great.
two.
Everything.
I'm
Lint is
waiting.
going to be graded one day.
I'm
telling you.
waiting for them to grade these things.
Oh wait! Oh, don't laugh. yeah. Imagine getting cases for all those statues. How much dude?
The shipping to get them graded.
The shipping with that and the amount of cost that forget it. You're going to be paying more for that than the statue.
Right. It just wouldn't be worth it, and I think that's why they probably haven't
They
started
can't do
any.
that.
It's just I think the overhead
too much.
alone, and then trying to actually with the shipping and have people will be looking at you like you lost your damn mind. Wait a minute, you want me to pay $100 to ship this shit back to you, then you ship it back to me, and that's just one way? No, it's just not. But my whole take about it, and I didn't actually start grading. Buying graded books or sending graded books in until about 2 years ago. I know Ray prior to that was doing a lot of that, but I didn't. And when I started going to more conventions, and I started seeing the different grades at the conventions, and I started seeing other people's grade, watching YouTube channels, and Tim is right. When you invest your money into something that's expensive, okay, you want eventually to have the best outcome for your investment. And how do you protect your investment? Well, you have these grading services out there that's going to protect your investment, which, of course, you have the three top right now, I guess, CGC, CBCS, and PGX. So you have your options of who you're going to send it to. Me personally, I don't see there's nothing wrong with getting your book slabbed. I don't see there's anything wrong with not slabbing your books. It's based off of what you choose to do with your collection, and no one, and if you have something against somebody grading books and you just rather read your books or whatever, then let the other guy alone. I mean, that's what he wants to do, not you. If you don't like it, then just choose not to like it.
It's not like you grade every book in your collection unless you're rich. Because it would cost a fortune.
But I would like to share something with you guys. I received the comics inside the boxes here at the store, and I can tell you, most of them, I don't know if it's the service or something, but most of them, if I were the grader, I wouldn't give 10, even if I just pull out from the box, because most of them always can see, if you look carefully, you can see at the corner or something that happened, and I don't know how in that thing inside the box, when not to consider that I have every shipping that I receive here in the store, I have a damage or a missing item. It's unbelievable.
I think that's why 9/8 are worth so much money, because it's hard to, especially. I mean, I don't really slab modern books, but there's people. I mean, I'll go to a shop and you can tell that guy, right? He's going through like each individual. He's going through the entire pile. He's looking at the corners and this and that, but. But it's hard, especially. I don't know how Diamond loads their trucks.
It's sorry for saying that, but I'm telling it's difficult to say that, but okay. Honestly, as a fan, okay, but as a business, it's not a good service. The shipping, it's not a good service, especially if you reorder older comics. Like, for instance, 1 year ago or 2 years ago, it's very often they arrive and you can see the spine is stressed, or you can see some marks. And I was thinking, how these guys, they grab the comics from, I just thinking from a shelf, and they put inside the box, and that damages somehow. And every detail that counts against a grade, it's going to make my comics from 1 year, just 1 year or 2 years ago, instead of 10, go to 9.9, 9.0, 9.2, maybe 8.8. But it's difficult to get 9.8, and I'm telling you, as a decent grading, to get 9.8 or even 10, even from the box, from the distributor, it's rare. I can tell you, and I'm very, very careful about what I'm telling you guys. It's rare. If you have a 10, you're a very lucky man, because that 10 probably is really, really good.
Yeah, you can't get
I
no
think
higher
that's
than 10.
and I think that's why the industry of pressing is huge now too, because people know. I mean, think about this, man. Like 10 years ago, when I was getting books slabbed, it was like there was no pressing. You just like, let me motherfucker underneath a long box for a month, and then I'm gonna send it off to CGC, and hopefully it'll, what I mean. Right. Now, I mean, it's amazing what there people are able to do, and I think that's why, because people are it's like it's the white unicorn, right? It's the 9/8. Everybody wants the 9/8, and if you guys ever talk to ETA Nick, he'll tell you. I mean, he knows the grading industry very well, and in our conversations, he said even his friends at CG says most of their money comes from moderns, because people are trying to get sets. A set is when you try to get a complete run, all 9/8, and you get a nice little fucking certificate, right? And that's their bread and butter. I mean, all the other people who are sending in keys, that they don't send in keys once a week, but these other guys that are going for sets, they spend lots of money. I mean, it's only $18 for a modern, $14 if you're a member. So $14 a book. I mean, and they send in. They used to be pre-screen for 9/8, and you had to send in at least 50 books. I think that's changed. I don't think you have to send in 50 anymore. But that was, imagine, okay, 50 times 14 if they get the 20% discount. That's a nice invoice that they get, and and it's an addiction. People, I mean, I swear to God, it's an addiction. I was addicted to slabs. Now I'm addicted to getting slabs with a yellow label. I mean, that, it just goes on and on and on. Jimmy C's got an addiction to original art, and look at him.
Yeah, but they definitely have to do some. No, I'm sorry, I'm being a dead horse, but they definitely have to fix whatever's wrong with the damn thing. I'm not going to shut up about it because it's just gonna, because they piss me off, and I think their customer service is what I'm dealing with, is doing the best that they can, because I think she's being thrown under the bus over a company that doesn't want to listen to their customers, and they're telling them and showing them there's still something wrong with your case, whether you like it or not, and we pay a lot of money. And it's not right. So
they said there's an acceptable level of
acceptable
rings, right?
level. Yeah, that's the new one I'm getting now. Acceptable level of Newton rings. So if you get a Newton ring on your case now, that's an acceptable level, and you got to deal with it. Fuck that. You shouldn't have no level of Newton rings is acceptable.
That's how I feel. No, there's no acceptable level.
And you're right.
Crap. Yeah.
And as you as Jim was telling, it's a not for you as a fan, but it's an investment. If you really want to make, you have to make an effort in your investment. For instance, we have Spider-Man and Deadpool. It was released in January. Yes. Number one was $4.99 or $3.99, something like that. I don't remember. $4.99. Nowadays, to get the first printing, and we have what, 8 months only. A decent first printing, you are going to pay $40 or $50 on eBay. So think about that. Just this guy, it's 10 times more in 8 months. What kind of investment gives you 10 times more nowadays in just 8 months or 6 months? Okay, we're talking about comics. You're not. If I think, okay, I can buy a car and maybe I can make a lot of money, but think about comics, just comics. It's 10 times more in 6-8 months. So if you slab your Spider-Man and Deadpool, probably you can sell for $200, $300, and you pay what, $3.99, $4.99 in 8 months. You can sell for $300, 100 times more. I think it worth the price. I mean, it worth the, but not the way. For instance, here in Canada, we have to pay, and you know. But yes, you need to.
I'm gonna. This is what I'm gonna do, man. I'm gonna build an underground tunnel between here and Canada, and we're gonna make it happen for you guys, man. The CGC Railroad is coming to a town near you, man. Railroad. But you know, here's the thing about. I mean, there's different levels of collecting, and there's a weird collecting niche of the 9.6 to 9.8 market, and the best example of that is kind of just an everyday book. It's not super popular. Amazing Spider-Man 301. A 9.6 is roughly, I don't know, $100 to $150 on a good day. A 9.8 in that same Amazing Spider-Man 301, it can push $1,000 because it's so hard to find in a 9.8 because of the white cover. That's my fucking white whale. I've been trying to get a 9.8, and the best I can find, I've looked at them. They look near mint. I send them off. They come back 9.4s. If you guys are familiar with that, it's the swipe that a lot of after 300 to 301 it has the round circle in the middle, and the entire white page is white. And that's another thing that pushes it is the 9.8. And if you guys think about it, CGC is so, I wouldn't say powerful, but so influential that they push the raw market as well. I mean, do you guys know that the Gabriel Del Otto variant that came out of everybody started collecting them? It started from the CGC forums. There was a Gabriel Del Otto appreciation thread, and then
he paused.
And then he paused. Manny, what's up, man? I didn't. Yeah.
You paused right there.
You paused.
Hey, welcome, Manny, and welcome to Hero Collector Lou, by the way.
Yeah, Lou and Manny here. Lou and Manny have showed up, you know.
Tim, you still with us? Can you hear us, Tim?
Freeze frame, what's going on?
Am I freezing?
You got Punisher 88 internet over there, buddy.
You know what? I'm at home too. What the fuck's going on, man? I'm not even. It's those Canadians.
You froze mid-sentence of your point.
No, it's CGC trying to find my internet connection to try to shut me up, so they're going to all of you guys first before they get to me. That's what it is. So, conspiracy.
Well, yeah, it's...
what was my point? Where did I freeze at? I don't even remember. I was babbling off.
You were talking about...
the
9.6, 9.8 difference and all that stuff.
You were talking about the Del Otto variant at the CG forum.
Yeah, it's amazing how... It's a bunch of windbags in that forum, yet those Del Otto books started getting premium price. You ever notice that all of a sudden the book is expensive for no reason at all?
Yeah.
Its origins probably come from the CGC forums, and then people start reading about it and they snatching them up. And I mean, the Del Otto thing was crazy for a while. I mean, the Turner variant makes sense because Aspen has been pushing it, but I think that's already reached its legs. Like the last book that came out didn't sell out, right? All the other ones sold out, but I think people are already getting fatigued on a Michael Turner Batman variant. You know what I mean? It's like it's already done its thing. You better sell them all off now, guys. If you guys hold on to these for 3 or 4 months, they're going to be worth exactly how much you paid for them or less.
I sold my pudding pack already, 175.
Really? Oh man, damn.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
That's coming out.
That's it. Fuck that. It's on pre-order. Pre-order on eBay.
Right.
3 days later, somebody made me an offer. I said, all right. There was 2 people. One person made me an offer 150. I was like, nah. I need a little more. So I said,
got greedy.
I was like 175. The guy didn't respond back, and then all of a sudden somebody else responded. It was like, I'll give you 175. So he was giving me what I asked for. So That's it.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
I guess, and we've noticed this on some sites. If you're not quick to the draw when it comes to certain variants, and if you're on time, and especially that pudding pack, I noticed that pudding pack sold out within what
Flash.
5 minutes, five minutes,
Less,
5 to 10
less than
minutes.
that. Less
Yeah.
than that.
What did you say? A pudding pack?
Yeah, the pudding pack.
It's the Michael Turner's variant exclusives for the Harley Quinn
Harley
DC
Quinn.
Rebirth. So they actually
Yeah,
did
sorry.
a.
You can stop. You already lost me as soon as you said Harley Quinn. But enjoy it. I just want to get my print from James, a thick ass rogue. Now that's good. Do you have it there, James? Can you show the fine folks?
No, I wish I could. I put it in storage, man. I was
Oh,
having them and company over a night ago.
Oh,
So
she looks
busy.
good. Rogue is thick as hell. God bless you, Franco.
Good for you, sir. Good for you.
Speaking of which, Marty, so let's talk about your infatuation with Harley Quinn here for a second. Let's just say Suicide Squad movie comes out, and the movie's great, but let's just say Margot Robbie is just annoying as fuck as she is in some of these clips, and she's the worst part of the movie. What do you think happens to Harley Quinn? I also saw a funny meme also, and they go, in 2 weeks from now, there's going to be a bunch of women dressed up as Harley Quinn who have no idea who the fuck she is.
Yeah, very, very true. If Margot Robbie does not do that character justice, and it just happens to bomb as Harley, I think a lot of the infatuation with the younger readers or non-readers of Harley Quinn will probably just drop off like anything else. Now, if she does good, then you'll probably accumulate more of her. I wouldn't necessarily readers, but fans of Harley Quinn, because you have those fans out there who don't know anything about Harley Quinns or any characters at that that we see, but are just infatuated with the character, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you like a specific character, but you at least know a little bit about the character, I'm not going to cosplay as Batman and not know a little bit about Batman. And if someone comes in and tries to ask me a question, I'm like, Bruce,
but Marty, I think 80% of the Harley Quinn cosplayers have no idea who the fuck she is.
I agree. I absolutely
They just
agree.
like, oh my gosh, she's cute. Let me dress up like a, oh my god. That's why, Marty, when you come to Kamikaze, we're going to bring a camera and a microphone, and we're going to put all these bitches on blast. We're going to do the questions, how well do you know your cosplayer?
How well do you know your cosplayer? 3 questions per, and yeah.
And we're going to do that to all the
idea.
Deadpool cosplayers and all the Harley Quinn cosplayers, because there are always tons of them.
That shit's gold, man. They got like in San Diego Comic-Con, there was so many different like Harley and Deadpool cosplayers. I saw a couple, like an actual couple, dressed as Harley Quinn and Deadpool together, and I was like, all right. I mean, it was like so many different versions. It was like the steampunk kind, what was the black and gray one? I forgot which one it was, but there was so many different kinds left and
No,
right.
I'm telling you, Marty, you should seriously do
X-Force,
gender swap Harley Quinn. You could be Harry Quinn. Harold Quinn.
Just cover up the contents, please.
Or just don't cosplay at all. Fuck it.
At New York Comic Con, there's always so many Deadpools. They have a huge Deadpool meetup.
That's once again, I think that is the younger generation who are infatuated with that character. Just like you see that in Harley Quinn, you see that in Deadpool. What else? What's another character they just play out constantly? Well, anyways, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just one of those things that if it goes well with the younger crowd, then they're going to stick onto it. But by no means, I mean, at least have some familiarity with the character if you're going to dress up in it. I really like watching this YouTube channel called Mediocre Films, and he'll ask a lot of questions to these cosplayers, and half the time they don't know who the character is or anything about that character. So it's troubling to see sometimes, but it is what it is.
I think Harley Quinn is bulletproof. I think the book will continue to go up. It bypassed New Mutants 98. It's going to continue to go. It's got a relative low print run compared to other, first appearances.
Those are the factors involved, though. You got to consider the factors involved, and not necessarily the characters as a standalone. Because when you're talking about Batman Adventures number 12, yes, because it is such a low print run, and then they're constantly making that after every exclusive too, and the character's first appearance. I mean, you have a character there who's gone just tremendously from where she sprung out from, and she just became well loved. And it's just because of the announcement of Suicide Squad and the actress playing Harley Quinn, that it's just become so pop culture, I guess you will now, fandomed and pop cultured. So let alone it. Like I said, it is what it is.
I think before her, it was arguably Poison Ivy. Yeah, and before that, it was Catwoman. And this was this was before the Comic-Cons. This was just girls wanting to look slutty during Halloween, right? When they saw the Batman movie and they saw Michelle Pfeiffer. I swear to God, when Batman came out, Michelle Pfeiffer, everybody was everybody was tight ass. Yeah, and then when who played her in Poison Ivy? Who played her in the Batman?
Uma Thurman.
Uma Thurman. Yeah, yeah.
Guys, I think I can share with you something about these female characters. Here, we do a lot of research because Chris does a lot of pinup. So what I can tell you is nowadays from DC, Harley Quinn is #1. Is considered one of the sexiest characters. And from Marvel is Black Widow. Before, it used to be Catwoman. Catwoman was the #1, like vixen or most sexiest or fetish. But now it's Harley Quinn from DC and Black Widow from Marvel. Captain Marvel's coming on the second position, more or less, from Marvel. But DC, very often you can see you have the most appealing characters. You have Poison Ivy, Catwoman, Harley Quinn. Wonder Woman.
Supergirl, Wonder Woman's definitely going to be coming up soon because of the movie.
Yes. And I'm telling you, here in this region where I live here, we have a lot of cosplayers. Most of them, for the girls, I can tell you, they dress up because they think it's sexy. The character is sexy, but maybe not because they know about the character itself, but because it's sexy and the costume is cool, and most it's like that. But
which I have, I have nothing against seeing a sexy woman dressed up in an outfit. That's perfectly fine with me. But hey, I don't know, Manny. What's going on your end as far as for convention? New York City Comic-Con is coming up. What is the date for that?
Going to Baltimore too next month.
Okay.
Not next month, in September.
And Lou, you're going to be there as well for the New York City Comic Con. Enrique, you're going as well.
There's a chance I might not. I didn't get any tickets, but I have a contact at work that is going to give me a ticket for I think 1 day. So
yeah,
but
so
I missed
out
on
it.
Yeah.
Now, I would say correct me if I'm wrong, but next to San Diego Comic Con, I would say New York City Comic Con is probably the second largest within the states.
Actually, it beat them this year. Last year, it had one of the biggest attendance.
Yeah, because San Diego Comic Con is capped now. That's why the tickets have been lottoed because they can't fit any more people in there. I mean, from what I heard, C2E2 is pretty fucking large too. That in Chicago, it's gigantic.
Yeah, that one's pretty up there too.
Yeah, I heard I hear C2E2 is a really good convention to go to. It's usually right after the Wizard World Chicago Con within August, and I'd go to the Wizard World one, and unfortunately happened to miss C2E2, but one of these days I'll probably make it up there. I hear it's a really, really good turnout. A lot of good artists
Yeah,
that
it's
attend
always
that.
they
I
always
heard,
have a lot of good
I
artists.
heard Emerald City is like the best con to go to if you like comics and artists. I was talking to my buddy Dustin Whitney. He goes, that's his favorite show to go to because they put more emphasis on creators, so like Artist Row and things like that. So if you ever like want original art or signatures and whatnot, and Emerald City is relatively small compared to everybody else, but that's one I definitely want to check out because Seattle's a cool city.
I got
Is that one in like
Check.
April or something?
Yeah, it's early in the con schedule.
Yeah,
God,
just like it kicks off
yeah, I remember con schedule used to be just summer. It's like all year round now. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I think the cap on the con schedules, I believe, they cap it out after October. You may have one or two within November time frame, but when you come, there's nothing, of course, going on in December, and then you don't get a
Kamikaze
convention.
is
Well,
Halloween weekend, so that's like the last big one.
Too
Kamikaze.
many.
I lived in Seattle, Washington for a year. I've been to that Emerald City Comic Con.
What'd you think of it?
I
liked
loved
it?
it. That was
Yeah.
back in 2008. I think actually that was my first con I ever went to.
That set the bar for you. The first con I ever went to was the MegaCon in Orlando, Florida,
Yeah.
and that thing was just, to me, it was huge. It was a huge con. It was great. So many artists, so many comic books, so many cosplay, everything that you ever wanted within a convention. And then every convention after that, I went to smaller ones, medium-sized ones, and I was like, it just really didn't compare to MegaCon to me until I went to the bigger ones, Wizard World bigger ones like in Chicago. And Fan Day is a mediocre size. Dallas Fan Day one, it's sort of a mediocre size, medium-sized one, but nevertheless.
So what you're saying is when you got your first big one, you had to keep on getting big ones?
I love the big one. I love the big ones. But nevertheless, go ahead.
I'm sorry. You never forget your first con, dude. Man, it's like for mine, my first one was like WonderCon back in '91, and that was like just going as a 13-year-old kid, just whatever, just getting books and getting art pieces drawn by artists, and it was for free and signatures and everything was like not even.
Was that when it was at Cow Palace or?
No, over in Oakland. It was right there over at the City Center in Oakland.
Oh, okay. And then they moved to San Francisco, right?
Yeah, they started with that stupid lie saying that they had to move to San Francisco and start construction, and they stayed in San Francisco. And they moved to L.A. and said same reason. They had construction, and they stayed in L.A. So they never came back to either spot since then. So, but ever since then, I always had a standard of getting signatures here and there, and everything's cool. You get free shit, free posters, all that. And it was around the same time when, of course, the transition between like the big 7 artists were going from Marvel to Image, and a lot of shit was being given out for free. Signatures there, T-shirts there, and now it's just different. Everything you got like a capped in the line sign. Like I saw like at San Diego Comic-Con, I saw a lot of those fucking sticks in the air saying in the line, to the point where I was talking with my buddy saying, we gotta just make our own sign and just fucking get one of those and just cap it in the line and just keep people away.
Literally, you got a lot of times with New York, you got to go right to the main guy you want first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Because it gets ridiculous.
Oh,
yeah. That's the first thing you do on a Thursday or Friday, the first day of the con. So you do that.
When you guys go to a convention, right, Enrique? When you go, or anybody within the panel, you go to a convention. What is the main focus that you look at? Is it looking for comic books? Is it looking for signatures? Is it going to see the celebrities or the panels? What is the major thing that you guys look forward to?
I look forward to if now it depends on the time frame. Like now in today's time, I would love to go see like a Walking Dead panel or something like that. Back then when I would go to, I wouldn't really go to conventions. I would go to like comic shows, and I can't explain how they are. It's kind of like Clifton, like Manny, like that. Like back in like the early 2000s and late 90s, there was a lot of comic shows in New York all over. Like they would take like you ever heard of like Knights of the Round Table, like their convention place, like their temple? But they would have like a hall. And they would rent that out, and it would be like surrounded with just comics and people doing sketches. And sometimes you can get people like I met Mike Zeck in one of those. I met Bob McLeod in one of those back in the day. So that's what I used to really hit. I never really hit like a big big convention. The conventions that I started going to as an adult was more like the Big Apple Con.
There you go.
I went to that one, yeah, a few of that. And to New York Comic Con, I had never been to a New York Comic Con. This will be probably my first one. I've been around the area when the convention was going on. I used to work on that side of the city where it was at, but I've never actually like bought a ticket to go in because I felt like I always just wanted to buy comic books. So I knew buying comic books there was not going to be anything good. But now, when I want to go now to the convention, I want to go to meet the artists. I want to go get sketches done. That's my biggest thing.
You're gonna have lines, buddy. You're gonna have lines.
Yeah, and if I can meet a celebrity, and I want to market. I want a media. I want to go up to somebody with a microphone and be like, "What's up? This is comics."
That would be awesome.
Last year.
Because
breaking up.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, last year when I went to New York City Comic Con, my focus was on Terry Dodson. I said, I got to get a Terry Dodson sketch. The first day I got there, I said, I'm going to Terry Dodson's table. Of course, I work. I didn't get out till like 2:30. So I went straight to the con, went to Artist Alley, looked for Terry Dodson. He wasn't there. Had to go back out and just walk around, and then came back, and then he was there. And I saw a guy, because he likes to talk. Terry Dodson likes to talk. Talks you to death. He's a real nice guy, though. But the guy was like, oh, okay, here's $200. Like, he gave him $200. And I'm like, how much do you charge for a sketch? And he's like, well, I normally charge like 150, whatever. I'm like, damn, man, but I ain't got that, man. I can't give you that. The con, it just started. I can't be giving you $200. He was like $150, whatever. He was like, you know what? What can you give me? And it was kind of like Ken Lashley type of thing. So I was like, listen, I'll give you $60, and that's it. Yeah, go fuck yourself too, cocksucker.
Handies in the alley, man. Just give me handies in the alley.
Line of the night, people. Line of the night.
Oh, man, you guys are fucked up, man. But you know what? Fuck you. But anyway.
If it's embarrassing,
let me finish my story. But anyways,
if it's embarrassing, you don't need to finish.
He was a nice guy. I gave him the $60, and he gave me that nice, beautiful Wonder Woman thing. I was like, yo, listen, good, thank you very much, and that was it. So, listen, don't be fucking doing this, you fuck.
Hey man, I'm just trying to help you out, brother. Hey, some of them will take a handy. Some will
listen, if I see
actually here, let me give a tip for the people maybe watching on the thing, man. Bring shit with you, and because you could trade for goods and services. Ask Ken Lashley. I gave him Amazing Spider-Man 200 that was in my backpack, and he gave me 5 prints. So bring slabs, bring comics, because most of the times, if you don't have cash, then you can trade. You know what I'm saying? It's the same as you do on Facebook or anything else. Yeah, barter with them, because most of the dealers, they all see your book and they go, I could sell that at this show right now. How much you want for it? And you say, well, I want this book. Let me give you cash and trade. You know what I mean? I did that. Sometimes you just want to entice them, but you could do it the same with artists too. Like when Ken Lashley's like saying, I'll work with you, tell me how much you have. And a lot of these artists are also comic book collectors. You can say, hey man, you do a sketch and I'll give you this book here. Doesn't hurt to ask, right?
Yeah. You see, the thing is with me, when I see that somebody's like really nice and like I could get like the same, not the same art piece, but like Buster, like Neil Adams, right? He charges $200 and something. I go to Ken Lashley, he gives me a freaking amazing piece, and Neil Adams will give you a side piece with it's just like a like a line,
a silhouette or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah.
And give you attitude
like
sometimes.
Yeah,
and no donuts.
No donuts. You know what I'm saying? Like you wanna support the guy that loves his fans.
I think if you get such a good experience with an artist, you're more able to come back to a guy like that and especially promote him, to other people as well. Whereas you get guys like, like you mentioned Neil Adams, or some of these commissions that I've seen they posted on the Facebook group, and I wouldn't pay $2 for some of the shit that some of these big name artists draw, man. I'm like, are you kidding me?
To all the Facebook Fanatics page people, man. Not all art is good art. It's like, man, who does it? They do the remark. I think Todd McFarlane does a lot of them. He used to do the Spider-Man remark on a cover, and if they don't charge you for the remark, then do it. But do not pay any type of money for a fucking remark, like a little head sketch. I mean, if they're signing it and you say, hey, man, can you just remark a thing? Oh, that'd be another $25. Get the fuck out of here. Really?
Yeah.
I can damn add the fucking Spider-Man.
I mean,
head.
I know people get tempted by, and just they kind of get lured in by the artist name. You know, that's an artist like Adam Hughes or Neil Adams or George Perez or whatever. You know, and if they're charging like an arm and a leg just to do a sketch, a silhouette of a sketch that your kid could probably do better for you, it's just ridiculous. I just don't see. I've been disappointed. Quite a few times. Bob McLeod, for example, I saw him at a convention. He was, he had his price on the table. You know how some of these artists, they have their price on the table for the commissions and everything like that. And I think he was charging about $120 for a commission on a blank sketch cover. So I gave it to him, and I wanted the black hat. Came back, black hat, beautiful outline piece and everything, a little bit of shading in. But you look at it, and I was very, very disappointed because, for the amount of money that I paid compared to some guys that I paid $50 for who've given me so much more, and they're not big artist names, but I get so much better than that. So I don't know. What is your guys' cap when it comes to that?
This is what I recommend, man. If you want a good piece of art and you're going to be there 3 days, go Friday morning, give the commission, and let him spend 3 days on it. Don't be there like, 9 a.m. and like, hey, man, you mind if you finish this up by 5 p.m.? And then they'll probably rush it. So if you're going to be there 3 days, go see him Friday morning and say, hey, man, I'll be back Sunday. Take your time, work. Or even better yet, say, hey, mail it to me. If you're not in a hurry, and, this way they can spend more time on it, because you got to realize, man, these guys are getting bombarded. They got people like Marty coming up to them, asking them about their life and shit, and they're trying to do a sketch.
Make sure Harley looks like this.
Can you do a Harley Quinn for me? And
I want her tied up because I'm into that tied up bondage shit. Because I'm a
See this Aquaman? Look at this beautiful Aquaman.
Wow, really?
You know how much I paid for this?
Yeah, I think you told me.
$45. Ramona Freedom.
Yep.
$45. This is what you get for $45 from this lady. And this lady is 89 years old. 89. It's
her name. What was her name again?
Ramona Freedom.
89?
89 years old, and she could still draw like this.
Did she give you a handy?
Nah, it's like my grandmother. What's wrong with you?
What's wrong? She's 89 years old, man. Come on,
like my great grandmother. Look at it.
Toothless blowjobs, bro. Toothless blowjobs. Just gums and
Manuel, you know what? You shouldn't take these. You shouldn't tell these kind of things that can embarrass you, man.
I like those, man. You got those done at the show, and when you showed me them, I was like, wow, they're nice.
This is the best commission I've ever gotten.
That's from Eddie the comic guy.
Eddie the comic guy.
All right. Hey, I got one of those too. Eddie the comic guy did me a nice little Harley Quinn as well.
God damn, everybody's getting an Eddie sketch here. Eddie, where the fuck is my sketch, motherfucker?
That's why you don't get a sketch, man. I want to give you a sketch either. You call me a motherfucker, man.
Right. Hey, everybody's showing off. I have something to show to you too, guys. I don't know if you can see.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
BK3, yeah.
Homemade.
Nice.
Did you do that? Did you do that, or Chris do that?
No, I don't do anything. I just ask. Yeah, that's homemade. That's.
Well, I gotta say that Wonder Woman behind you is gorgeous.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's that she did also, and that one there is Wonder Woman. It's in acrylics. Yeah. That's the thing. I agree with you guys. You don't need to pay that much money for, not because the guy is famous, but come on, pay $200, $150. It's too
let me give you.
expensive.
I have many examples of that, and I think Manny just showed a perfect example right there too. And Ray had a great example when he went to Las Vegas Con. No, I'm sorry, the Dallas Fan Day Con, and I know he paid less than $100 for that Power Girl, and I tell you what, that guy colored the entire page. It was just absolutely beautiful. He took his time and he colored the entire page. So, a lot of guys out there, I mean, it's your money. You do what you want with your money. I mean, if that's what you want, that's what you want. But I recommend, me personally, if I go to conventions, and as I mentioned, you can get lured in by big name artists, and you want to sketch by your favorite artist, like say if it's a J. Scott Campbell, and he's there, and you get a sketch done by him. That's one of my favorite artists. So, but depending on how much he's going to charge will depend on if I actually commission him or not, or if he has the time to do it, because he's so packed, man. But what is your guys' cap when you guys go to these conventions? What's your cap on that?
I think about like, okay, I'm getting this commission done. I want to get it graded. I just don't want to take the commission and not protect my investment like you guys are talking about. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not gonna sell it. That's for me. I wanna preserve my art that I got from my favorite artist or whoever. You know what I'm saying? So when you go there, you gotta go with this mindset like, all right, do I pay $100 and then it's gonna cost me $46 more to get it graded? You know what I'm saying? So you gotta try to play.
Go with the plan.
Yeah, you gotta go with the plan. Like I said, you know what? I'm gonna cap it out at $60 with Terry Dotson because that's a big name artist to me. I don't know about anybody else, but Terry Dotson.
I'm with you on that one.
Plus, you need to think that also we have the signature label nowadays, so it's not only having the sketch, but if you can get a signature label that yes, the artist really signed it, it's more valuable. So
yeah, you don't want to get the sketch and then you go submit it later on to like say CBCS. Now you gotta pay the $25, then you gotta pay the $46 to get it graded. Now that's a lot of money. Now I can see if it's like, cause I have a Michael Turner and I also have a Jack Kirby autographs, right? So those artists that passed away, like legends like that, I wouldn't mind paying the extra $25 for those guys, so I could get those autographs certified. But when it comes to like the people that like say a Terry Dotson, I get a Terry Dotson piece done, and then I want to go submit. Nah, I wouldn't even do it. I'll just leave it like that, and that's it.
Yeah, like see for me, like when I get like something drawn there, man, I go early with a plan, like you're talking about, Manny, and also when I get back, I hang them up, but I get these like plastic frames they sell in the comic shops,
Yeah.
So like Spider-Gwen by Dotson, or like the Flash I had commissioned by Potasio,
Oh wow, that's nice. I like that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
really
so
like
that Spider-Gwen is Terry Dotson?
That was Dotson. Yeah, it's about $150, And so I went to the comic shop and got one of these frames, and they're like $7-8, and I really don't have a plan to like get these slabbed or anything like that, but like all this here, like Gerardo Sandoval, he did the Ant-Man and Wasp, but just go with the plan, and just if you want to get them framed, but I have really no desire to really get them slabbed or anything like that, as long as nothing burns down, we're good.
Plus, it matters who you like. Like, I'm a huge fan of Ebaz, but you commission his work, you're talking $250 to $400 or $500.
Yeah, I mean, I've never really gotten Ebaz.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of artists that I love to get, but it's just price, I know I'll never get an Alex Ross original piece. I know that's never gonna happen. That's just fucking ridiculous. Like Adam Hughes. I don't know if he does, but he's expensive. His lines are across the table, and also Linzer. Linzer used to be cheap, and now he's expensive.
I heard Adam Hughes he does do sketches, but he like the first 10 people or something like that.
Yeah,
I think he does.
Yeah,
and it's like free, but
it's still
what we heard here. Chris was talking to another artist, and he tells. Anyways, long story short, what we heard here that he doesn't do sketches or commissions anymore at the Comic Cons because as soon as he does, the guy pay $50, $100, and the guy the post on eBay for $1,000, and he said, "Oh, I don't want to do that." It's and what we heard, he's not doing sketches anymore in conventions, but I don't know. Just what
that's what a lot of the artists told me the same thing. That's why they're charging so much because the people are just flipping them.
Right. Well, I mean, look, like some of those prices you're talking about, are pretty much nothing. Like Art Germ charges $800.
Wow.
He charges $800 for to do like a cover sketch. I was like, yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm just gonna cut this shit
Art
out.
Germ charges $800 just for is that just a sketch without color?
I think it's like Copic. So like Copic marker, uses too.
Yeah.
I mean, I should have taken. It's funny. I should have taken a fucking picture of it. He did draw a picture of a Harley Quinn, dude. I totally forgot about it. But it was pretty nice, dude. But I was like, goddamn, $800.
Yeah, that's too much, man. How can you go off? Okay, now my mentality is if you're a great artist or you're artist or whatever, how can your fans? Because you have a lot of fans. How can your fans walk away from your table with an original sketch cover and a good story to tell about you if you're charging $500 to $1,000 on a commission, man? How can you do that? How can you do that? I mean,
it's not possible. And you know what?
I think they're trying to I think they're slowing down production because they could probably get a shitload of people, coming in asking for like a drawing every 5 minutes. And I think the way they're doing it is they're slowing down production by raising the price. So possibly somebody will be like, $800, get the fuck out of here. I'll go somewhere else.
Yeah. I mean, that's injustice to your fans, regardless of how you want to look at it, how you want to put it. Even if you're trying to slow down production on something, if I even if I said, okay, 10 first 10 sketches are free for the first 10 people. After that, $20 for a sketch, and I'll do something decent, something like George Perez does. You do a quick head sketch, something that you go away with. But guess what? You got an original George Perez sketch cover, which only costs you $40.
Yeah.
But and you're happy with that because you're paying $40 for a George Perez sketch work, and you're going away with something like that, But I don't know. To me personally, I don't see how some of these people can do their fans justice because if it wasn't for the fans, I honestly say you wouldn't have people that like your artwork. You know what I mean? So
I agree. Like Jim Lee still draws for free, man. I mean, last I checked, I mean, like hell, when he did this one for me, he did this took me forever.
Oh wow!
From Jim Lee,
that's
beautiful. And this all white out and marker, man. And I was like, I always loved when he drew Havoc back with the Extinction Agenda storyline. And it took every time I got up to the guy, he was always like out the door or like the line was capped, and it took like I don't know a couple years just to even say hey what's up, and he finally drew that, and I was like for free, and it's like sick. All right,
that's for free. You can't be free if it's free. Shit, I'll if you want to draw a cock for me, I'll take that shit. You know what I mean? I got an original sketch cover, but let me ask you this other question, guys. When you guys go to get your commissions, okay, 9 times out of 10, what do? Do you ask for a specific drawing, or do you just allow the artist to do what he wants to do?
I would. Well, I only did 2, and whatever the book title, like I used the blank covers. So if that is a Harley Quinn, I just said make any type of Harley Quinn. He asked me, "What do you want?" I said, I tell him, do whatever you want. I don't care. You can make her look like this, make her look like that. I don't care. Just do whatever, and here's your money, and go for it. Because I don't like telling artists what to do.
Yeah.
That's just my thing. I want them to. That's why I like their art. Give me something that I haven't seen, just say, here's the character, go,
and that's it.
I've done that one time. Usually I do like you, Mark. Is if it's based off the cover of the book, I'll try to stay within that
Right.
that realm, DC, Marvel, whatever the Batman. If it's a Batman cover sketch, and actually I tried it for the first time, Fan Day Expo, and I told Robert Atkins, really great artist by the way. If you're not very back in the '80s type of artist, really great stuff, and I just said, well, you surprised me, brother. Whatever you want to draw for me, it is up to you, and just surprise me, because you're the artist. So I tried that, and I haven't got it back yet. So we'll see what the final product is when I get it back, and if I ever do that again, But this was sort of a test run, just to see what the artist does, how long it takes him to do it, and to see if he takes his time on it. Ken Lashley was right. I prefer a home commission as opposed to a con commission, because at least in a home commission they can put a little bit more effort in it. Now if I want something quick, and I'm not too concerned what comes out with this, then I understand that going to getting a con sketch, there's a limited amount of time that's going to be spent on it, because how many people are going to be asking for commissions. So I don't know. What about you guys?
I think that when it comes to that, my approach to it would be, like, for example, Ken Lashley says that his favorite character to draw is Colossus. So I would want to get a Colossus drawn from him. If I wanted a Captain America, I would like somebody like Steranko to draw it. So I would pick the artist based on the what their specialty is, and that's how I would choose the artist. Like Terry Dodson, I like the way he draws Wonder Woman. So if I wanted a Wonder Woman sketch, I would go to Terry Dodson to do me a Wonder Woman sketch. That's kind of like my take on it. I like to, so that way I can get the best drawing possible, no matter what tier. No matter what dollar tier you're gonna use, you're gonna get the best one from that person, because that's what they specialize in. The character they like to draw the best.
Yeah, either one's fine. I mean, I got a Chad Harden commission I sent in. He's working on. So at some point I'll be getting that back of a Harley Quinn, believe it or not. So because he was backed up, so I was like, all right, well, if I give you this, this plain cover, I'll give him that information and such, if you send it back, and he said, yeah, sure, and it's like, there's a problem, I'll let you know, we'll just get things settled out, and I was like, all right, that's cool. So I'm just waiting. So it's just, I got no problem with that, or even at a con, I mean, but at a con, you get there early. You make that your first priority, because like you don't do the exclusives, you don't do comics to buy, you go straight to Artist Alley and get that stuff out of the way, then you work your way around the con.
Yep. Yeah. So that's it, man. That's what I did. Got there Thursday. Terry Dodson finished it on Sunday. I was good to go.
That's nice, dude. Nice. Yeah, I really liked what he did with the Wonder Woman for you, Manny. And also all the other sketches, especially when we went to the Big Apple Con. I mean, those are some nice sketches that you got there.
Good job on that, man. And
a lot of the artists cap it. They only do a certain amount of them too. So at least they do it in New York that way.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, there's so many experiences that you can get out of these conventions, whether good conventions, good experiences or bad experiences. But there's so many to go out that you have to really pick and choose and plan out your daily routine.
Mm-hmm.
What do you normally do, Lou, when you actually set out to go to a convention, or is it just a hangout day for you?
No, well, for New York, for instance, I have all 4 days, but it's planned out. First day, I'm going to run to Artist Alley, pick my favorite artist, get the commission settled. The second day, Friday, is going to be Stan Lee. Once I get my picture with
That's all day.
Yeah,
that's your life.
That's your life right there.
My autograph on the statue, that'll be that.
Oh, wow.
And then the last 2 days, that's when I cosplay and hang out and just check out what's for sale.
That's cool, dude. That's cool. Now, last time I went to New York Comic Con, it wasn't this year or the year before. It was like two more years after that. How are the dealers there? Are there more dealers, or are they getting less?
Nah, there's less. They're getting less dealers every year. They're getting less and less.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I was going to say is what it's become a lot now is you'll have like the video game companies.
Yes.
You'll have the statue companies. they all come there and they show off their stuff before it's on sale to the public, and then they give you free stuff. But it's mainly more about that with comic books here and there.
Right.
But
the
be
comic
prepared
books is not-
too, because it's New York. It's going to cost you an arm and a leg.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely jack up the prices on some of those books. Like I remember said that book is a $5 book and the guy wants $35 for it. What is he out of his fucking? But believe it or not, as soon as I said that and I turned the corner, some guy just bought it for $35. But you know what? A lot of people come from out of state, and a lot of people come from whatever because New York
From
is
out of the world. Yeah.
right. So you get people that never experience anything like this, so they want to get a book, or maybe they can't get a book where they are. I mean, just like the whole thing in Canada, there's some things that they can't get. Look at Sean, Jean Paul Ace Peter, he's on like an island. He has a tough time trying to get even current stuff. So it's just, I can see a guy like that. So that's who they're trying to. As for us New Yorkers, what's the famous word you use, Manny? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, last year they had a Action Comics 1 and Detective Comics #1. But the whole thing is, who's going to pay those prices? But they had them there.
Yeah.
It's good for people that want to look at things like that, and you never know. You might have a big roller, big spender, or a high roller.
Right.
That might come in. But, books like Action Comics, First Appearance of Superman, like for example, it's a good example is what James showed. James showed the Amazing Fantasy #15. That is still attainable. Maybe out of people's budget right now, but I believe that book is still attainable. You know what I mean?
You can get a halfway piece, you're going to get a grade. You can find grades like that.
Yeah.
You get an amazing, Action Comics #1 or Detective 27 in that grade. It's like it's unheard of.
That's not going to happen.
You can still find those type of books. Even X-Men #1. Even you know where I'm going with all this. Fantastic Four and all them. You can still find them because those books came out in the 60s. Just about, right? About the beginning of the 60s or something?
Yeah, like 63 or 63,
something like that. So they're still obtainable because of age. And unfortunately, with everything's like everything, it goes up, especially when you got a high-profile character like that. That's not a fly-by-night. That's not a fly-by-night character. That's never going to go away. And that's the total. And then again, James, congrats on that fucking book.
Thanks. Yeah, no, it's like movies too.
15?
Yeah. Oh, you
maybe.
didn't see. Oh, you didn't. Manny.
Go ahead. Go get it. Show it one more time.
Here you go.
What is that, 5.5?
It's a 5.5, bro.
Oh, nice. You got a lot
And
of money.
that's unrestored too, right?
That's unrestored, man. Unrestored.
No rainbows, no bullshit, no rainbow jizz.
No unicorn jizz or nothing.
No
We're
unicorn
Nice,
jizz.
man. That's nice, man. My wife would kick my ass if I tried to buy a book like that.
But as I was mentioning though, it's still attainable. It may be out of some people's budgets, but it's still attainable. As whereas those other books, like you mentioned, Lou, Action Comics #1 or what have you, are definitely within. I don't know what's the highest price today, $500,000 or what?
Yeah, around that to $1 million.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless I find it in a garage sale or something, or just happen to be walking down the street.
Hide behind some concrete and the dead bodies that the serial killer left in there. When you bought the house, you're probably gonna find an Action Comics or a Detective 27.
Well, that's like that. Everybody knows who Superman and Batman is.
Right.
So
Household names.
Yeah.
Not to mention the historical significance to it when 1938. That's pre-war era. That dates back so much longer than the Amazing Fantasy #15 because that was at what in 60. Help me out, guys. 66, I think it is.
60, sure.
Yeah.
It was earlier. Was it earlier than 66?
It's earlier than 66. It's like 60, 62, 61.
62. And so
Yeah.
you have you have books like that date that have such historical value to it.
1962.
I mean, and then they have to be in case. So if you think you want to buy something for $500,000 and then you want to bring it home to read it, man, you better read that shit online, okay? You
that's
better
where you
buy
download
that
it.
shit encapsulated, and you better read that shit online somewhere.
I'm
because-
fucking having laser tracking and everything. If a hand goes near there, the fucking shit goes off, man, and I come running down with a bat.
It's like,
Hell,
it's like,
Books are old, man.
If I'm leaving New York Comic Con with $1 million book, I'm gonna have 2 bodyguards.
those bodyguards might want the book too, man.
Yeah.
As soon as he gets in the car, you take him from the side. Correct.
We'll protect Lou.
We'll
No
protect
problem.
him. Don't worry. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. Call Johnny. Call Johnny now. We got him.
I mean, if you're
Hey, guys.
spending that kind of cash,
Yeah.
if you
I-
spend
I,
that kind of cash, you pay the guy and you tell him ship it to your house.
Hey,
that-
do you take a check?
Do you take?
Yeah.
Do you take it? No, man. Let me ask you guys this: is that a book you would buy off of eBay?
Amazing Fantasy?
From
Maybe.
I would.
Nah.
That's a rough one. That's a rough one.
If it's graded, yeah. If it's
Yeah,
not,
but
I wouldn't buy it raw.
even with that, you might be dealing with count. You gotta double check the numbers and stuff like that. If they're not showing that label clearly with the authentication number that you can go look it up on the site, then you got to be careful. And also, just you pay. If he says, "Oh, don't give me the PayPal, pay it friends and family." If anybody tells you to pay
Right.
friends and family,
Friends and family.
it's meant for friends and family, not an eBay purchase. They're gonna scam your ass. So don't do it, people.
If you're going to pay for such top dollars for a book like that, I'd rather be face to face with that book so I can actually look at it.
That's a feel, yeah.
Because you look at eBay, they do sell those books like that on eBay, and they do bids on those books on eBay. But you're taking such a big risk when you're going to do something like that, and I don't think I can do it to be. I'd have to do like James, where I just have to go to that shop and I'd have to look at it, and I definitely want to see what I'm buying, But hey, guys, we're at this point where we do our final thoughts and shout outs on Comic Talk, and it's been a wonderful show. We kind of shooted the shit today, and we just kind of talked a little bit about gradings, and we talked a lot about conventions and everybody's ways of doing things. But nevertheless, still a great show.
Beautiful. Let me go first. The wife is coming home.
Okay, go ahead, man.
The wife is coming home, so let me
You're
go
pulling
first.
in the parking lot.
Nah, we don't. Sorry, man. There's no parking here, man.
Oh, I'm
You gotta
sorry.
park your car in the street, man.
My bad. All right.
Yeah, we don't
My
have
bad.
parking. We don't have that nice parking spot like you guys in the suburbs of California or whatever the fuck.
Right.
But anyways, listen. My
Okay,
shout
go,
out
sir.
goes to everybody on the panel. Stay tuned tomorrow. We got the show going on tomorrow. Big E's, me and the fellas, NY Warriors and Marky. So come watch us tomorrow. If you don't like us, then don't watch us. Whatever you want to do what you want to do. That's it. I don't give a shit. But anyways, give a shout out to everybody on the panel. I'll see you guys later. Marky, Big E's, I'll see you tomorrow.
You got it, brother.
Later,
Stay
bro.
tuned. You'll have a new video for me sometime this week. I got like a pile of books. I'm telling you, crazy. But anyways, I'll check you guys out. See you later. Peace.
Okay, you too. Have a great
All
night.
right.
man.
You too, man. Keep funky, man.
Later, Manny. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you having you. Always a bundle of fun and such a positive guy. Can't go wrong with that. Okay. Next, we'll go ahead and go with Biggie's Comics. My boy, Biggie's Comics. Great video last time. I love it when you interact with your wife like that. You had a really fun video, man. Final thoughts to shout out for you, brother.
Yeah, I'm trying to get her, to do more videos with me. It's fun, So I gotta try to get her to get on the live show. That's the next thing,
Yeah.
But shout outs to everybody in the panel, of course. You guys all know many times, everybody on there. Shout out to everybody in the chat, and just like what Manny said, I started a live show. It's on Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern time, and I want to let everybody know that it's an extension of the CBF fam. You know,
That's
it's
right,
not
CBF fam.
exactly. So this is just like a branch from it. You know what I mean? We're all together. We're all the same. You know what I mean? We all still, you know. I just want to put out there so everybody knows that, you know, it's all together for everybody. You know.
Yeah,
And
it's a good show. I saw the last show. You guys did a great job, man. You know, I support you guys, and you know, majority of our panel on Comic Talk is the New York Warriors anyway. So
that's what I said. That's what I said. It's just an extension of here. That's all it is. It's just it's like you have a satellite office in New York, bro. That's it.
That's right, brother.
You know? Tim holds down the West Coast. You hold down Central, and we're in the East Coast over here. You know.
And you got our Canadians up there,
Yeah,
and then you got
that's
UK.
right.
We got the UK guys, man.
Exactly.
You know?
We're freaking global, international. You know?
Mr. International.
You know, but we all meet up on the CBF Facebook page. You know.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Cool.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks.
so that's it.
Any more shout-outs? Okay, well, thanks a lot for coming on, brother. It's always great to have you, as always, man. And you've been with us from the beginning, so hope you stay with us until the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely, brother.
Yeah. Hero Statue Collector Lou, man, I apologize. I don't know if you got the link, you know, I guess mixed up with me, but you finally did come on, so it was great to have you. Lou comes on whenever he has time. He's busy working on his own. Like, you've got like 2 shows that you run on your channel, right, Lou? So tell us a little bit about your shout-outs and your final thoughts, man.
Basically, just like to shout you guys out. I mean, I'm always a fan. I mean, you've welcomed me from the very beginning, so it's always a pleasure being on here. Such a bunch of really nice guys. And, you know, Vic, he's my partner in crime, as I call it. He's with me on the other shows. And like I said a million times, all you guys are welcome if you want to be on the collector's chat. I do send out the invites.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're all welcome. It's always a good time. And basically, it's all about having fun, talking with other collectors. That's what I love about Comic Cons, and I suggest everybody goes to one at least once in their life. And the really big ones are a lot of fun because you get to meet so many big-name people. So definitely do that, and most of all, always have a good time collecting, and collect what you like, not what other people tell you.
Exactly.
That's the truth.
Oh,
exactly. Awesome, man.
Well put, man.
Very well put.
All right, James, King of the Golden State. Final thoughts and shout-outs for you, man.
I just want to talk about what a boring weekend I had, and I just want to say shout out to the panel members here. Shout out to those in the chat. If you guys haven't seen already, I already posted a video about 100 subscriber contest I got going on until August 31st. So checked out the details on that video, and yeah, that's it. I'm probably gonna go watch Sharknado 4 and have a cold beer and go to sleep.
Awesome, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, no problem.
Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. All right, Marky. Final thoughts and shout-outs.
Oh God!
That's my jingle. That's my jingle for Marky.
I know.
He's never gonna live that one down.
I don't know where he gets the friggin'. I don't know where he gets that from. But
Wait till
anyway.
I start drinking, man. It gets.
I know. It's cool, brother. It's all, you know what? All good for laughs and giggles until someone loses an eye. But anyway, shout outs to everybody in the panel. Shout outs to everybody in the chat. 2 shout outs I have to make. One shout out definitely to Stampify Comic Guy for sending me that Evil Ernie #1. You all seen it on the videos. It's already tucked away, so I can't show it again. But thank Vince for that, sending me that. And also shout out to Tom Ryan. We just did a text trade or whatever. We sometimes trade movie codes here and there. So he gets a movie code for a movie he bought, and I have one. And we did something like that, and we're working on some kind of a trade. So thank you to him, and we'll be talking. And just, hey, Suicide Squad, I'm going Thursday. Might have a review if I don't pass out like I did with Star Trek, but I can't wait. I hope everything's be good with that because I want to see this DC universe to start going here. I know they're going. I know they got Wonder Woman in the can and they're friggin' filming Justice League now. I just don't want them to screw this up. That's all. So that's my shout-outs to everybody. Love you all. Next week. And watch us Monday. New York taking over YouTube. Let's do this.
All right, brother. All right, we got Trevor from Rage Comics. Man, you talked a lot this time, man. I don't know if I even should give you a shout-out, because you just basically took over the show.
I was a bit quiet. I haven't been on for a while. I've been I've been pretty busy, but thanks for having me. It's always fun to come on, listen to you guys jibber jabber away. My shout out actually goes to James over there because that's truly inspiring to see someone grab a copy of that book.
Thank you.
So everyone should go check out his video too, and leave him some comments and whatnot whatsoever. And go check it out. And that's like I said, it's truly inspiring to see that someone can still grab, like you were saying, Marty. It's still attainable, and people can still grab a book like that. So congrats on that book, and thanks for having me on tonight.
Awesome, brother. Always great to have you on. We got my boy Alex. Go ahead, Alex.
Damn.
Okay.
Start the Go Fund Tower Fund for Marty because he's gonna need it this week here, man. He's gonna be hitting those. He's gonna be not hitting those high notes anymore, no more. So don't worry. After this week, he's gonna be like, "Well, guys, I'm just gonna say goodnight."
Everybody has hidden talent, so that's one of him. So guys, again, thank you very much for having me. It's a wonderful time to stay with you. Count on me every Sunday. And just to let you know, my bookshop dream is just working with grading comics, and doesn't need to sell, and comic art, this kind of thing. So if anybody wants to invest, Rage, maybe we can talk about that in a grading comic company in Canada that may be the first one. Well, I'm open to it, and it's maybe if we don't make that much money, we can have a lot of fun. That's it. Why not?
You guys would make it big. You'd be the only guys doing it in Canada, and people be shipping to you.
Well, I'm open to that.
There's comic fans in Canada.
Instead of CGC, you call it CCG, Canada. No, Canada Grading Company.
Comic Grading Company, something like that.
CGC,
and then get sued.
Start out your business by getting sued, man, just for the name.
Or we can do a Canadian comics grading. It's just should be a little different.
Canadian comics.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Alex, and always great to have you on as always. You are more than welcome to come back anytime you want, man. I definitely enjoy to have you guys. Absolutely, man. Every Sunday it works for me. We got, as you see, we always got regulars on this panel, and usually sometimes if the regulars can't show up, like Enrique, he can't do it all the time. So, but everybody's always welcome. And if anybody out there, if you guys want to come on the show sometimes, all you got to do is send me a message. Hit me up on either the Facebook Comic Book Fanatics, or hit me up on a private message on our YouTube channel, and just let me know if you want to come on sometime. We'll love to have you talk comic books, be a part of the panel members. My shout outs to all, of course, everybody here in the panels, for making the show what it is, and people that are guests that are inside the chat group room as well. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us for another great episode of Comic Talk. You guys be safe out there. Take care of yourselves, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out, guys.
Thank you.
Peace.